Welcome to Comics Experiment, the show right here at Comicstorian that airs every Saturday, goes live on Twitch on Thursdays with our Comicstorian podcast network, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, and then is uploaded to Patreons, Spotify's, iTunes, and various other sources on Fridays. Today's show, well, not today's show, the show in general is us discussing comic books, video games, news, fun facts, discussing things in general, and today's topic is going to be the best and worst fathers in comic books and the best and worst children in comic books. We're going to come up with our ideas and then see how they compare to a list from CBR. But today's episode is brought to you by a couple of sources. Daniel, take that.
Daniel? That caught me off guard. No one calls me Daniel except my mother. Well, today's episode is brought to you by Bespoke Post, where if you go to the link in the description down below, use comics at checkout, you can get 20% off your first monthly box. It is also supported by our Patreons at patreon.com/comicstorian, where for $2 you get access to our podcast as well as other early access content. It is also supported by our Twitch subscribers at twitch.tv/comicstorian, where we record this live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we also have a new shirt available on Teespring for our not Teespring, on Designed by Humans. I got that wrong. Skip that bit. Ignore that. But it is themed around our D&D game with Blue Beetle and Booster Gold dice, which we also film live every Thursday at twitch.tv/comicstorian.
Yes, for those of you who have just joined us recently because of our Superhero Dungeons & Dragons show, and for those of us who have been watching the original Comics Experiment, we have named the Dungeons & Dragons show Capes and Cowls. Although I will keep calling it Dungeons & Dragons as it's better for search algorithms. 2, it's become popular enough already that we're going to be doing 2 separate shows. So the proper Comics Experiment and the Capes and Cowls show. And Dan, you also forgot one of our sponsors.
I knew there was one.
Any idea who that could be? This can won't open.
I believe it's G Fuel.
Oh, God. I was really hoping I wasn't going to cut my hand open.
They can use the code COMICS at checkout to save, I believe, 10%.
And that's the Nemesis tea. It tastes like tea.
I should hope.
It tastes like sweet tea mixed with a little bit of cherry. It's really good.
Tastes like Nemesis. Don't ask how I know this.
I like it.
Nemesis.
All right, so today, to come back to a regular Comics Experiment, because we're doing our show again. That's what we do here. It's quite a frequent thing. We enjoy it. I'm stalling while my brain thinks it out. All right, so anyway, Andy, let's kick this off. Who do you think your de facto worst father in comics is? Dan's gonna go last, so we can take the 2 first ones that he's probably
fair.
thinking.
Sons of guns.
Worst father. I mean, there's a lot of terrible fathers. We got Slade Wilson.
Well, no, you can only pick one before you start taking them off.
I'm just gonna start listing my own versions. If I'd have to say worst father, I'd probably say Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Okay. He's a pretty crappy father,
but only to Mr. Miracle.
I mean, that would be his child.
I was confused. Which one's his
Orion
actual?
Is his actual
Orion's
son.
the actual child.
Mr. Miracle is the adopted one.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the.
That's pretty crappy.
Yeah, because he sent Orion to go live a good life.
Yeah, what a shitty father.
Calabecky
Calabeck is his other son. Yeah.
Calabecky treats like crap.
Yeah, that's why he's a pretty crappy father.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Deathstroke's a bad dad. Wolverine's a terrible father.
Much.
Batman's a horrible dad. Right? We're gonna go why for each of these. Mm-hmm. But I'm just naming off a few. I mean, can you think of another one?
Superman. We'll get there.
Whoa. Okay.
He's pretty crappy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that one.
Expect so much from his son.
I mean, Spider-Man's kind of a crappy dad whenever he's had a kid in storylines.
I have a couple that you guys won't think of.
Oh, really? Hold on. Before Dan can speak, Andy, let's just start listening. See if you can think of some of these more obscure ones.
Well, if I'm going outside of DC and Marvel, I'd say at the beginning of the Invincible Saga, Omni-Man's pretty crappy.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is.
I was going to pull Constantine because he has the daughter in the Injustice universe.
Oh, that's true.
Fine,
Yeah. He's a really crappy dad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he does trick a lot of people into fighting his battle so he can save his daughter. So I'll kind of give him that for a little bit.
But he got to the point where she needed saving.
That is also
yeah, who do you got?
Well, first off, we've got Thanos.
He's a pretty crappy dad. Is he an actual dad, or is it just his adopted
It's all adopted. We're not counting him.
Daniel West.
No.
The bad Reverse Flash.
He wasn't a dad, though. He was the uncle.
No, he was the dad. He was the dad of Miles Morales.
No, wait.
Or not Miles Morales, Wally West.
Listen, I know I point out that there's a lot of space bullshit.
Daniel
but I'm pretty
West.
sure Daniel West is not the father of
Daniel
Spider-Man
West.
from the Ultimate Universe.
I know, right? Daniel West is the father of Wally West, but he tells him that it's his uncle. Because he doesn't learn about it until
I'm gonna
Daniel West
Google
actually
that.
sacrifices himself in the Suicide
If
Squad.
you are correct, you will win today's cookie.
Ooh,
There's cookies? I hope he's not. I
this.
hope you're not correct. I want a cookie.
If you're not correct, Andy gets the cookie.
I'm gonna slap you and
I don't
take
know
the
why.
cookie anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess nope. That would also be an uncle. I was gonna say Prowler.
No, uncle.
Post Flashpoint, he's the younger brother of Iris West. Shortly after the encounter with the Rogues, Daniel is involved in an accident with the Speed Force and is granted powers. Wishing to repair his strained relationship with Iris, Daniel decides to kill people affected by the Speed Force to take the speed and travel through time.
Come on, give us the part
In
we
order
want.
to kill his abusive father. However, his plans are foiled by Flash Barry Allen. They don't say.
Well, look up Wally
Why does the
West.
Speed Force only focus on this group of people?
I'm looking.
It's,
I'm
Allen
looking.
or
I'm
I'm just gonna
West.
Google it. Is Daniel?
I think he's the uncle.
Speed
though.
Force is
Wally.
stupid.
Daniel West is the younger brother of Iris West. His mother died giving birth to him. The mother's a death drove their father, William, to become an alcoholic and abusive towards his children, blaming Daniel for her death. One day when he was 12 years old, after Daniel ridiculed and hit him, Daniel pushed his father down the stairs, crippling him.
This is a lot
Upon
of
realizing
info
that
I
Iris
don't
had witnessed
need.
the event, he's...
This just says he's also the father of Wally West 2 and the uncle of Wally West 1.
I like to think that they don't actually name him the second. They actually call him Wally West 2. Hey, Wally West 2.
Flash Family Associates. No, it's not Wally West 2. It's Wallace West.
I know.
No, it says
I'm
Wally
so
West
glad-
2.
When they finally changed that, they were just like, you know what? This is getting too confusing. Just say Wallace and say Wally. People will be fine with it. And people were.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, Lord.
You are right and wrong
Nope.
due to retcons.
Half of it was right. Therefore, I'm taking the cookie.
You get half the cookie.
The problem is it's an oatmeal raisin cookie, so it's
Ugh,
just...
you can have that cookie. I don't want that cookie.
Originally, he was not the father. But in 2016's Rebirth...
I feel like
sounds
this
like
is
a
a weird
joke.
episode of Maury. Originally, you were not the father. And then he gets up, he's like, yeah, but now.
But then Dr. Manhattan altered the timeline in an event known as Rebirth, Daniel West, and you are now the father, as it has been retroactively changed to make you the dad.
That's
I like how-
he's like reading the card, and then they hand him another card.
You are not the father. We just had a timeline change.
Sorry.
Haha, reboot.
Rebirth retroactively established that Wallace's father was not Rudy, as previously stated, but he was in fact the son of Iris's older brother, the then recently introduced Daniel West, also the latest incarnation of Reverse Flash, who had redeemed and sacrificed himself as a member of the Suicide Squad.
God, I hate the Flash.
And based on our arguments,
So
where we
much.
do, current continuity is the correct one in terms of arguments.
God, I hate Flash
So
so
I get a
much.
cookie.
It's oatmeal.
All right, well, and then we
I
can
hope you
also
choke
go
on
with...
it. Which you might.
I could also go with Orphan and Orphan. That was a pretty terrible dad.
I don't think the dad was, his dad was an orphan, was
I
he?
think it was.
no,
No.
his dad name was Kane.
Kane, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't he
Lady
go
Shiva
by...
it was the mother.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it doesn't
He's going
change
off
the
of his
fact he
super
was a
villain
terrible...
name. It was David Kane, but
Yeah,
I don't
David
think...
Kane and Cassandra
I don't
Kane.
think he
Either
called
way.
him
No, he never called himself
Terrible.
orphan. 'Cause
Yeah,
her
he was
name-
pretty
father.
crappy. Yeah.
Her name was Orphan because she was an orphan.
Even though
For
she
some
definitely had
reason-
two parents.
Yeah.
Interesting. For
Not
some
really
reason,
sure
I
she
thought it
understood
was
what
a
the
redemption
definition
thing.
of orphan was.
Clue
Interesting.
Master is spoilers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also terrible.
That's another terrible one. But well,
Because,
I mean,
he
can
leaves
we-
clues for
can
the
we-
world's greatest detective.
Can we automatically assume all the villains are just terrible dads, like Slade? Actually, you know what? Slade protects
He's
his
actually
kids.
a pretty good father.
He's a pretty
He's an
shitty
anti-father.
father. Yeah, but he does some good things every now and then. They're like, why did you beat me? So you could be stronger.
He's a good father in his own way.
And like,
Poor Rose.
yeah, like. Anyway.
You gave me a girl. Where's my son? That's kind of how he treated Rose for the longest
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Magneto's a great dad, right?
I thought they retconned him that the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were not actually. Oh, he's got Polaris.
Polaris,
yeah,
yeah.
Polaris. Yeah.
The Green Witch.
I don't know that much about Magneto. I'm not an X-Men fan.
I'm pretty sure they retconned the other two out, and they were like,
because
"Oh, he
they
needs a
wanted to-
child."
They wanted to use him in the Avengers movies, so they retconned him so they weren't mutants.
Oh goodness.
Trying to think of what other crappy dad. Wolverine's a terrible father.
Is he?
Mostly because he's not aware of who
I was
his
gonna
child
say.
is.
I feel like if he knew who his kids were, he would be slightly better. He didn't.
Well, Dakin's just a clone. No, Dakin's the real son.
Dakin's real son, but he didn't know about him until he was a murderous adult.
X-23, it turns out, was the real daughter.
I guess.
No, she was still a clone.
Are we counting only supervillain bad fathers?
Well,
They
retconned
retconned X-23, so the mother actually...
Yes.
Yeah.
They retconned that it is a biological
I guess technically he's the surrogate dad.
Yeah,
the
essentially,
way the way that they phrased it made it sound like it actually turned into actual... It was a weird thing that they never went into.
He didn't know about Dakin until he was already a murderous adult. So I don't know if you can count it. Like, if he was there from like day one.
But to fix Dakin, he tried to murder him in X-Force.
What's the problem?
I can't fix you. Drown.
Fixing the problem, Dakin. Fixing the problem.
I guess in a way, Apocalypse is a terrible father to all of the mutants. If he considers it,
that's a stretch.
I got one. Terrible dad that we haven't brought up.
All right.
Deadpool.
He was the best father when he finally found out. He just didn't go around it the right way.
Didn't he rearrange the timeline so they would be okay?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good dad.
But that's after he messed with them so many times.
Well, yeah, but he's Deadpool.
Are we counting just superhero / supervillain fathers? Because otherwise, pretty much any superhero with a bad backstory, Eddie Brock and his drunk father.
Eddie Brock and his son.
Eddie Brock and his son.
Flash Thompson's dad was a drunk.
and his dad.
Yeah.
Majority of people had very abusive fathers now that I think about it.
Wait,
Well-adjusted
are we counting
people
Venom's
don't-
kids?
Well-adjusted people
Oh my
don't
God, yes.
jump on...
Venom and Carnage.
That's true. Yeah, but that wasn't Venom's fault. That was clean as Cassidy.
What about Riot? What about...
Well, yeah. But those were all tested on. You know what I'm saying? And they're not like legitimate, like it's not kids in the normal sense. Like Venom didn't get it on with another symbiote.
Lasher?
And little symbiotes popped out. You're not going to take the little symbiotes to like a ball game.
Could you picture Venom throwing ball with Carnage? I gotta treat you right,
They're
son.
not playing catch out in the yard after a strong day of symbioting.
Every time that Spider-Man's had a kid, they normally get kidnapped in some weird way.
That
And
doesn't mean he's a bad parent.
He's not watching them.
He's a superhero.
Okay, Spider-Woman's
But
kid.
let's be 100% honest. You're
she
not.
ditched
No
him.
well-adjusted person is thrown on tights.
True. Because Spider-Woman just kind of like, you're not... hi, babysitter. This is yours now.
Peter Parker's dad was awful because he died so young.
He was also a CIA agent.
That's true. No, S.H.I.E.L.D. It was S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Yeah. Uncle Ben got shot. What an asshole. I think we're really stretching what makes a crappy dad, is all I'm saying.
And so any dad in the comic book universe?
That's, basically what we're boiling it down
Ra's
to.
al Ghul and Talia.
He treats Talia pretty good, though. He wants to wipe out
What
the
about
world.
Barry's dad on the TV show? He stayed in prison and then died.
What an asshole. And then came back as an alternate reality Jay Garrick.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Or I guess also in the
Spoiler
Flash TV show, Eobard Thawne and the younger Thawne that shoots himself. I don't even remember his name.
It was
Eddie.
like his great uncle or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But Joe West is a crappy dad to Wallace West.
He is kind of shitty. I'll give him that. He's like, don't have superpowers. I have superpowers. I don't like it. Okay. Essentially
What?
what it-
Now you go to
essentially
Tibet.
what- Yeah, that's essentially what happens.
I'm trying to think. Doesn't Arrow is a terrible dad to his daughter? At least that's what we
Oliver
discovered.
Queen.
Oliver Queen.
Let's be honest. Oliver Queen's a shitty person.
Merlin's
Merlin's son.
Queen.
Girl Queen.
What's her name?
Thea?
I haven't seen that show in such a long time.
Yeah. And Girl Queen.
Girl Queen. Can we?
He wasn't a good
You
father
knew
to
who I
his
was.
son either, though.
Can
to
we
be honest.
petition to have
Malcolm.
Thea's character name changed
Norman
to Girl
Osborn?
Queen?
Not a great dad.
Well, no. In the end, he still cared about Harry.
Did he?
Kind of. Maybe. I don't know.
Only because he had a grandson he could turn into a mini goblin.
All right. So wait.
That's what we're all
Last
looking
one.
for.
I got the last one. Worst father ever.
All right.
Hulk.
Does
Does
he
Hulk have kids?
Scar.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't his fault. Once again, he didn't know Scar was alive still, and he left the planet to go murder everyone. If you think about it, revenge makes you the best dad.
What about the daughter from the future?
I don't know that one.
It's like Lyra or something like that.
I don't know.
You know her.
Do I?
I get Barry to Dawn and Dawn.
And
because they actually
It's
become villains.
Don, and Don.
Depends on the timeline.
the
Sometimes he
Don
treats
Don-
them well.
Yeah, but Don.
Wally to his
Alright.
kids because he let him get erased from time.
No. He didn't let them. That was Dr. Manhattan.
Before that,
And
he
then
was
Wally
basically walking.
became Dr. Manhattan to bring them back. So, technically speaking, the father.
Which, for the record, am I the only one that sees Wally when he was tethered to his kids and kind of just pictured someone like with those kid leashes?
Pretty much, yeah.
When like you're snowboarding and something and they just want to hold on to their
Or just
kid.
taking them for a walk.
Yeah.
No, heel.
No.
Heel.
Actually, Strike Plays in our chat would like to bring up that Trigon.
Yeah.
He's a great dad.
He did fight Apocalypse.
He does
Or
only
Darkseid.
want the best for his.
I gotta stop hitting.
daughter.
Yeah,
It's
you do.
yeah, we're really bad. Sorry about the bouncing, guys, or the bumping. And
So anyway,
Sorry about the bouncing.
my idea is to put a beam across this and just drop them in front of us.
Drop what in front of
Mics.
us? Oh.
I like it.
What is he talking about?
I have no idea.
Are we,
See, that was
are we
my idea,
coming
but you were like,
halfway
what is
through
that
the conversation again?
It's all in my
Do we
head.
have a
Okay,
list
let's
for
see-
this, or
let's
are we
go
just
with the
gonna start
list.
randomly
No,
saying
well,
crap?
before we get to the list, I think Dan needs to, as our host.
Open a portal.
Wow, you put me to shame.
Yeah.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Bespoke Post. If you're like me, your mailbox is pretty depressing, filled with junk mail, bills, political flyers, and a stupid amount of coupons. But once a month, I get very excited checking my mail because of my monthly box of awesome from Bespoke Post. I'm still amazed at the amazing quality of the Damascus steel knife I received in one of my boxes of awesome. Bespoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every month. No matter what you like, Box of Awesome has you covered. The boxes can contain anything from barware to cooking tools to outdoor gear to style and grooming goods. To get started, take the quiz at theboxofawesome.com. And your answers will help them pick out the best box of awesome for you. It's free to sign up, and you could skip a month or cancel at any time. Each box only costs $45, but packs more than $70 worth of gear. Get $20 off your first monthly box when you sign up for theboxofawesome.com and enter the code COMICS at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com and use the code COMICS for 20% off your first box.
And we closeth the portalith.
I'll take it, whatever.
Who talketh like
All right, guys, so that's our ideas of the worst dads in comics. Now we're going to look at CBR's list to see if we agree or disagree, if we just got them all.
Yeah.
I will preface this list as I preface all lists. I don't know who wrote it. The person is an idiot.
Unless we agree with everything. then
No,
they're
that's
genius.
not going to happen.
Number 15 is Reed Richards.
Oh, yeah.
He's a pretty crappy dad.
He put a
I didn't
full
even think about
nullifier
that.
into his kids.
He is pretty crappy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're a mutant? Not anymore, you're not.
Not on my one. Not on my roof. You will get your powers the old-fashioned way. Cosmic radiation or not at all.
And then you're going to the zombie universe.
Yeah.
You okay there?
Sorry.
All right.
He is a terrible
He is
father.
an awful father. Yeah.
Okay,
he
number
really
14 is Odin.
Odin's pretty crappy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always trying to challenge Thor, isn't he?
But I guess that would be kind of to the argument
Like
of
he knows
he's
he-
bad, but
yeah.
in a...
Like he knows
Trying
his
to
son
help.
can do better, so
Yes.
he pushes him. I guess.
It's just
But
really
but
tough
really,
love.
Thor just needed a hug.
Could you picture? That would probably be the sweetest comic ever. Just Thor
hugging his dad.
For like 10 panels. Do a Tom
I
King
would've watched
style.
that
A 9 spread.
That would have been great in the movie. It's just Chris Hemsworth and Anthony Hopkins just hugging for like 10
A
seconds.
tear goes down.
Yeah. Like, goodbye, son. You're like, bye, dad. And then he goes and fights Loki or Hela or somebody. Loki doesn't get a hug.
forgot.
Loki doesn't get a hug.
Next up, Brian Banner. The father of Bruce Banner.
Oh, yeah. He was pretty crappy.
Right now,
Once
he's-
again, nobody well-adjusted becomes the Hulk.
Brian is the father. Currently, he's like in the One Below All. Or
Played
whatever.
by Nick Nolte in the Hulk movie. What was it called?
Which Hulk movie?
The one with Eric Bana, where it was directed by Ang Lee.
And they fought the Hulk dogs.
And they fought the Hulk dogs. One was like a poodle or something. It was like a green poodle.
A Hulkoodle.
Yeah,
it was a whole fight sequence in a pool.
Yeah.
I need to watch this movie
It was
again.
an
It's so
awful
bad
movie.
that it's
It was
good.
so bad.
Oh, those are good movies. They're so bad it's good.
Red Skull,
He had a kid?
Sin.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, you can't
mean, to
be
be
shocked
fair-
that the Nazi's not a great father.
Especially because he wanted a son, not a daughter, and that's his argument.
I don't think anybody looks back on Adolf Hitler or Rommel and is like, you know what? Not a bad dad, though. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have a follow-up to that.
Okay.
I've seen the movie Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, sure.
And
No, that was imaginary Hitler.
right, I was going to say imaginary Hitler isn't a terrible
Yeah,
parent.
but that's imaginary Hitler, though. That wasn't real Hitler.
If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, it's hilarious.
That was Taco
Wait,
Wasabi.
is it?
Yeah, taco wasabi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about that movie.
So,
and
I'll
for some
explain that
reason,
real
I
quick.
thought it was a horror movie. I think there was an old movie that has a similar name.
No.
That for some reason I'm crossing over.
Jojo Rabbit's about a kid during World War II.
Okay.
Like he did think about it. Which war was
I was like, which one was
it?
Hitler?
Hitler was in 3? No. 3.5.
You know what? If I
a
had,
sequel.
He was in World War II.
if I hadn't looked to you, you wouldn't have known that I was searching for that one.
Second World War II.
the World Warning.
No, so the movie takes place during then, and his mom, it's kind of revealed like within the first 15 minutes, is a part of the resistance.
Okay.
And
But the kid's part of like Hitler youth.
but the Hitler wants to be a part of Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
So-
like the Boy Scouts in the
Yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah,
weird.
well, it basically is. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
they treat it.
Okay.
And so basically, right at the beginning of the movie, he goes to Hitler Youth Camp, and he gets blown up right at the beginning because he doesn't throw the grenade or something. I can't remember, but he doesn't throw the grenade. It's along those lines. So basically, as he's like an injured child at Hitler Youth whose imagination is Hitler's very proud of him, and he kind of places him in the father role. And he, but at the
So
same
you're
time,
saying that Hitler is a good dad because of the
He's an
Imaginary Hitler.
imaginary Hitler's a good dad, but it's like a good dad that's like your buddy. He's like your buddy dad, And of course, he's
He's
always
one of those fathers. I won't discipline him because we're pals.
going quite into the... Okay. Imaginary Hitler is a great guy.
Yeah, real Hitler, not so good.
I never thought that in 2020, one of my statements would be, imaginary Hitler's a cool guy.
Oh, it's thunder outside.
It is super good, though. I would
I
highly
think
recommend.
Owen and Thor heard our
They're
hug
hugging.
comment.
I definitely say, if you have not seen Jojo Rabbit, Natalie and I watched it, really good movie. I would highly recommend it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
It's got ScarJo.
Yeah. All right, so anyway,
Scarlett
moving
Johansson? I
past
did
Red
not know
Skull, the crappy Hitler. So Deathstroke's on here. We agreed he's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
I disagree.
If Deathstroke was your dad, would you be upset?
If Deathstroke was my dad, I would have become a merc with him, so probably not.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah,
Jericho.
He would be Merc with a dad.
Yeah, merc with a dad. Yeah.
That's your show.
I wouldn't be Jericho, though. Jericho's kind of whiny.
Well, it's because he didn't become a merc till later.
Yeah,
you
he's
gotta be
my
like
dad's
Ro-
not cool. Like,
You gotta be
your dad
Rose.
taught you how to shoot a guy from 1,000 yards away. That's pretty cool.
So you gotta be Rose then. She enjoyed the whole thing.
True,
Yeah.
I'd be a
Well,
chick.
TV show Rose hated it. Comic Rose liked it. Didn't she?
I think so. Or no, she was neither for nor against.
Lex Luthor.
I was also not aware that he had
Yeah,
a
that one
kid.
I did not know had a child.
I know in certain like Elseworlds stories he has a kid,
I think that's what they're going
and at
off
one
of.
point he had a clone. He had cloned himself.
Oh, I
and was
guess-
saying that it was his
I
kid.
guess he
but it
is a
was
terrible
actually
father
him.
to Connor.
That was when he
Yeah,
had the
he's pretty
crazy
cra-
hair.
Yeah. It was supposed to be the son of Lex Luthor. Turned out it was just a clone of Lex Luthor, and he was acting as his son.
That
the
would-
90s.
That would not surprise me.
During his presidency, which I was not reading very consistently in comics at the time, he traded Lena to Brainiac for its futuristic technology. Lena, who has the form of a teenager, appears in the crossover Our Worlds at War, playing Luthor off against Brainiac. By the story's end, she becomes an infant again.
I gotta go.
All
through
right,
the
next
toddler
on the
years.
list.
Oh, no, here it is. Here it is.
He's like, I gotta go through the toddler years.
Gotta
to
go
get
through the
this
Scott
bullshit.
Young verse? What the hell?
Yeah, so he had a baby Lena. She has not been seen since he lost the presidency.
Well, that doesn't mean we don't know he's a bad father. He could be going off panel and like taking her out to ball games and going to recitals and stuff.
I made you your own kryptonite suit of armor.
He's like, Superman, I will kill you. After my daughter's
But don't worry, I won't touch your son. Because my daughter will.
I'm training her to beat up him because it's not cool to beat up a kid.
That would be the coolest twist
Unless
ever.
that kid's a dick.
If she
and that's
comes back,
negotiable.
if she comes back in Rebirth, the date
That'd be
John,
so funny.
and it's just like you just haven't seen her. She's been here the whole time. Look, she's conveniently 16 now.
I would
And
love
dating John.
that. I would love
And then
that.
we get a story where it's the son of Lena and the son of John.
Son of Lena, you mean son of Lex?
Lena Lex. No, the daughter. What's the
No,
daughter's name?
the grand
Son. Oh, I get
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Okay.
so he'd be the grandson. So now it's like a weird family sitcom where you remember that show? What was it, Daddy's Home or something like that? That movie, but it's like Superman and Lex, and now they have to like get along.
I'm kind of now
DC,
picturing
we're pitching you that. We want to be showrunners if that's a thing that you create.
That'd be hilarious.
All right, Green Goblin.
Yeah, he's pretty crappy. Yeah.
I called that
That's
one.
definitive. No matter what his intentions are. Ra's al Ghul.
Yep, called that one too. I'm like, what?
I would
3
say
for
he's okay with Talia.
4?
His other daughter he's not so good with.
I was not aware he's got
got
another.
Outside of the
one.
show? Nisha?
Outside of the
Anissa?
show, yeah. You'd never see her in the
Did he
comics.
kill her?
She's really random in the
Did he
comics.
kill her?
Wait, I was not aware she's actually real outside
Yeah,
of the show.
she is, yeah.
I thought they were using her in the show because they didn't want to use Talia.
No, she's in the show. And then they bring Talia into the show.
Yeah, don't they like much later?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would argue that Ra's is actually not a terrible father. He's raising his kids like he was raised. It'd be like if Black Adam raised a kid.
But to be fair, we also don't see the majority of his fatherhood off screen, and we've kind of seen what they tend to do.
I like the idea of Black Adam as a kid. Son,
Yes.
sometimes you have to murder a bunch of people, but it's for the betterment of mankind. And so...
Wait. Doesn't he kill his son to get the Black Lightning power forever?
I think that's one of his origins.
Sure.
Like one of them,
Yes, the
he like
sacrifices.
he stands on
Sometimes
top
I have
of
to
them and
murder
like
you to gain ultimate power. So trade off.
7 is Trigon, which we already
Yeah.
discussed, is an amazing
Found that
guy.
one.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He just wants to be free.
Sure.
Once again, the majority of these are good dads in their opinion.
High Father.
They don't see themselves as terrible fathers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
High Father is a
Yeah.
terrible
Neither did
dad. He
my
traded
dad.
his son to Apocalypse.
That was
Dark
for
side.
peace.
For peace.
I was going to say that was for a peace treaty. I mean, that's the hard sacrifice.
Well,
hard choice.
More of a ceasefire treaty.
Yeah.
Followed up by Darkseid, who
Yeah.
traded his son to the
And then treats his other
the
son
good
like
one.
crap.
Sabretooth. I don't know he had a kid.
I was actually
He's
going to
probably got as
say him,
much
but
kid-
I would,
Raiden Creed.
He's probably got as many kids as Wolverine at this
That'd be
point.
my guess.
He's the father of the anti-mutant terrorist Raiden Creed, conceived while Sabretooth is on a spy mission in Germany and having an affair with Mystique.
Oh yeah, I remember that in the cartoons. He shows back up in Sabretooth's cabin or something like that, and he comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna whoop you, boy," or something like that. It was something weird.
And now I see why he's on the list.
Yeah. I can't imagine Sabretooth would ever be like the loving father.
I love this. Having an affair with Mystique, who was in disguise and abandoned the boy.
Well,
if
sure.
you follow, so everyone loves Mystique from the movies, right?
Yes.
Where she's like, oh, she's a part of the X-Men, and she's like, oh,
Well, now that she's J-Law.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
But if you go back to
J-Law.
classic
Yeah, J-Law.
Mystique, she was changing forms and sleeping with every major mutant and having their kid.
And then betraying everyone and going, that's not my kid. I look like this.
I don't see why nobody trusts me.
Like, not even joking, like, the amount of times that they would end some storyline of, like, Wolverine snuck off with this woman that he loved more than anything, and he did everything for her, and then she disappeared, and it was Mystique!
And so, shockingly, Wolverine's pissed.
Like, that was a thing. That was, like, her character, just sleeping around the X-Men. Charles brought in a new
They
mutant.
could have a Maury show with Mystique and all the ones she slept with, and it's now who isn't the father or all
Didn't she
father.
sleep with? Yeah. She doesn't even know anymore. She's
Yeah,
changed
she's
forms.
like, I don't even know at this point. I got 17 of these dudes. They've all got
Someone read
superpowers.
my mind and tell me, because I forgot.
Okay. Omni-Man from Invincible.
Ah.
So, Andy, because many of our viewers don't know Omni-Man and Invincible,
Shame.
why is he a bad father?
Well, first off, before you go into it, you need to look him up because he has one of the best mustaches I've ever seen.
That's part of the Viltrumite thing. They grow mustaches.
They're fantastic.
If they don't have a mustache, they're not like considered manly.
I love
So in the comics, this is minor spoilers. This is major spoilers if you've never read Invincible comics. Basically, Omni-Man is Superman.
Yep.
Except he did not come to the planet to save it. He actually came to like overthrow it and rule it for the Viltrumite Empire. So he ends up killing their version of the Justice League. And then when his son, Invincible, who is half human, half Viltrumite, tries to stop him, he's like, listen, you can either join me or I kill you.
It was a great moment in the comics.
It was
too.
a great moment in the comics. And then it's literally, I think it's like 3 issues of just them fighting. And like, it's like, what if Superman was not holding back kind of fighting?
Okay.
And then he does like, he basically beats Mark to the ground because there's no way he could stand against him.
Right.
And then kind of like has a moment where he's like, oh, I'm actually killing my son. So he leaves. And then he kind of turns into a good father after that. But yeah, at the beginning, not so much.
No. You know, we're going to start doing that for the channel because that cartoon will one day come out.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I
hold
really
on.
wanted to come out. Yeah.
Which part of that are we doing on the channel? The story itself, or
Yeah.
beating someone into the ground until we realize that that's a
Little
kid?
from column A, little from column A.
I'm gonna beat you into the ground, and then I realized, wait, Dan's my son the whole time.
Honestly, I was a little
That's
worried.
our D&D twist of today. You know, I said I'm always trying to get a twist.
is Beetle's son the whole time. What?
Yeah, you didn't
I'm
say it.
changing everything. I don't even care anymore. And then Wolverine shows up.
Number 2, they have Don't Call Him Fu Manchu. Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, grew up loyal to his father. I don't know anything about him. But
Well, on the upside, we can see a movie in a little while. Well,
Fu Manchu
yearish
trained
at this point.
Shang-Chi since the age of 3 to be a fighter, sent him to kill his longtime adversary, Dr. John Pettoretti.
Dad did the same thing with us, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're supposed to go kill his adversary, actually.
Yeah,
I think
but-
next week.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to do it, but then the pandemic happens. We
Right.
had to push it off.
We don't know enough about him, but I guess his dad sucks. And I like the panel they're using is like from the 70s, so it's not even like...
Well,
I
that's
was
when
thinking that
Shang-Chi
too,
was
yeah.
like first created.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be Bruce Lee, right? They couldn't get
Yes.
Bruce.
Well, yeah, the idea is, I mean, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, all of them were created in around the time when like the Kung Fu craze of the 70s and
Yeah.
things like that, which obviously
Iron
Bruce
Fist was
Lee was a
very
big
Jackie
thing.
Chan.
Yeah.
And number 1, Wolverine,
Nah.
which we disagreed with earlier.
I would say if he knew of them, that was his thing. He never knew of them.
Yeah. Because that's the whole plot to one of them is that he kills them and he's like, oh.
I didn't know these were my kids. And then like Laura shows up and she's already like a teenager.
Yeah,
and
she is.
trying to murder people.
Same thing with Dakin.
Dakin
shows up
was
to kill.
already a murderous adult. Like he just didn't know.
Wolverine faces off against the Red Right Hand's enforcers, the Mongrels, Gunhawk, Fire Knife, Shadowstalker, Cannonfoot, and
Who
Sophist.
comes up with these names? Cannonfoot.
Sophist.
I'm pretty
Sophist.
sure. I'm pretty sure there were two hats. One was body parts. One was different deadly machinery, and they're just like, all right, sword, elbow. All right, sword, elbow.
No, I can see it right now. You come over and you're like, I'm Sophist. All right, well, come on.
Pick a name.
Not
what
that
we're-
kind.
That's what we're doing to you. Who are you, spiny mustache? What? Spiny mustache.
Mustache.
You're like a porcupine.
Yeah.
Doink.
You could shoot the quills.
Are the quills mustaches or spine?
Do they fan up?
Are
like
they
Dr.
they're throwing mustaches?
Imagine a mustache, right? Made out of porcupine quills.
No, Dr. Robotnik style. Like, and you just angle them out.
That would be one of the coolest things. Why do we not have a mustache porcupine? A porcustache. Why do we not have the porcustache?
Anyway, he slays them all only to learn they're his sons and daughters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't know. I feel like if he knows them from the beginning, Wolverine would be maybe not the greatest dad in the world. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Probably bring him for a beer and come
He's
on,
still.
Bob.
I was gonna say he's still Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, but he would be a better dad.
I don't know.
I mean,
I doubt he would have
doesn't
murdered him right away. Is what I'm saying.
Doesn't he watch? Because technically, Laura's his daughter and Dakin's his son. Doesn't he watch them in X-Force play essentially Wolverine roulette, where they both just hold their claw to their head and
Well, that's what I said.
whoever dies
He wouldn't be a
first
great
loses?
dad.
Well, yeah, but they all heal, so it's okay.
Yeah, like, if he didn't know that, if they were like, "You're not going to heal," then he probably would have stopped them. You know what I'm saying? You like to think.
I like how you called it Wolverine roulette, not like claw roulette.
No, Wolverine.
Wolverine roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only
Doesn't
people.
X-23 have one from the bottom and one from the top?
No, that's Dakin.
Yeah.
Dakin's the weird
it's
ones.
2 and 1.
What does she have for claws?
She has
She's
two
two.
here and then the talon on her.
Yeah, she has the
foot,
feet ones.
That's why we call her
Toesies.
Raptor. She should have just been called Raptor.
which would have been great.
Yeah.
No, she's X-23.
No, she's Wolverine.
Yet, you know what? They really could have just gone to Raptor and done that instead of going back to X-23, never mentioning it, and then turning her back into Wolverine by mentioning it once.
They're just a little confused.
Dan's still angry.
Also, it's Honey Badger, not Scout. Okay, who's next?
Speed Weasel.
Scout, she really hates her mom.
Speed Weasel. What?
What?
He said it's Honey Badger, not Scout. So I said Scout, she really hates her mom.
don't
I
get
feel
the
like
mom
I'm missing
part.
a
Yeah,
joke
I feel like
here.
I'm missing a
Scouts,
joke.
aka Honey Badger hates her mom. X-23, clone situation. Okay, whatever.
I do not understand what's
Doesn't read
going
any
on.
of those comics. He's just trying to say
Honey Badger's
things.
the clone of X-23.
Correct.
Right.
Right. So by using the logic of X-23 being the daughter of Wolverine, that would make Scout the daughter of X-23.
Yes, and she treats Honey Badger very, very well.
Oh, she does. Yeah, she does. Yeah.
That's why I'm so
She treats her like a sister.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever happened to Bologna? Wasn't that the other one? The evil one?
She, I believe, is technically under the control of some lady because she sacrificed herself. She was like, no. Take me, leave Honey Badger.
I want Dan
And
to
she
start
was like,
explaining
yeah,
what
okay.
happened in comics. No.
And then Magneto's like, stop. And then
Wolverine's
like, no.
That's when Apocalypse showed up, and he's like, I am the first mutant.
Ooh. And the X-Men are like, you evil. He's like, no, I'm not.
Then Evan's like, wait, but I'm you and you're me? How does this work?
And then we're like, here's 10 swords. Just go with it. Whatever happened to Sword of 10?
I was just thinking that, yeah.
This got weird.
Such a shame.
Anyway, that's today's topic. Yeah, that was fun.
That
We ran
was
for 5 seconds afterwards.
crazy of an episode.
I liked that episode. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, let's think. Who else is a terrible father?
Who's the terrible? We should do the next episode. Should be terrible mothers because they didn't even touch on that.
Oh, yeah. Talia.
You
Other
can't.
than Mystique, because she has so many kids.
You know what? I'll
Mystique,
start it off.
Talia.
Talia,
Yeah.
because she clones her son because she doesn't really like the first one.
It's true. Yeah.
And then kills the other ones when they don't
Yeah.
satisfy
You're not my
needs
favorite,
either.
so I cloned you again.
I got bored with this one, so I made a new one.
The worst part about that cloned second Damien is he still had like that child face.
Yes.
But he was like, "Brrr."
Well, no, all of the clones did because then Damien takes them to the clone of Damien.
No, Island of Damien.
Island of Damien?
Yeah, he like has
where
an
they're all
island.
there.
Do you not know about
I know, I do, yeah.
Damien's clone island?
that was when Grant Morrison started getting really weird toward his end.
That was
of
during the Year of Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna go collect all my clones, and I got an island like Dr. Monroe.
Damien Force, go! It's just a bunch of murderous adolescents.
Okay, that would have been a great story for the record if Damien tried to take over Gotham and police it by bringing the other
All the
Damien
Damiens
clones
in.
and essentially made them like the guards and like military force in Gotham.
The Bat Force. Because they're all Batman.
So thank you for watching.
That was a great show. What's our sponsor today, Dan?
Our sponsor was Bespoke Post, where you can use the code COMICS at checkout to save 20% off your first box. The link is in the description below. It is also sponsored by G Fuel, where you can get 10% off with the code COMICS. Our Twitch subscribers, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where you can subscribe with your Amazon Prime or $5. Helps us out over there. And our Patreons over at patreon.com/Comicstorian, where for $2 you get access to all of our podcasts as well as early access content. And we also just put a new shirt on our Design by Human store with our Blue Beetle Booster Gold dice. Please tell me I didn't forget one. Pretty sure I got them all.
I don't know, he sounded so quick. I was like listening to The Flash.
Yeah.